develop it. You know that Eritrean national football team was playing preliminary round of Africa Cup of Nations, and last week Eritrean team beat Eswatini's team by 4-1 margin. Ali Sulman, Eritrean player, was the top scorer. He scored 3 goals in that match, and Eritrea secured its position in main qualifying group stage for the Africa Cup of Nations. So that was a big day for Eritrea last week when Eritrean football team won that match. And Eritrea returned to international soccer activities after a gap of around 18 years. But what everyone was celebrating. Everyone was celebrating. But since yesterday, it was being word that seven or 18 members, team members have defected. They have gone missing. Now it has been confirmed that 7 members of Eritrean national football team, which played against Eswatini, they have gone missing in South Africa. Only three have returned, 3 or 4 have returned to Eritrea. Not just Eritrean opposition sources, so many international sport channels are also confirming that uh, yes, another multi. So people are confirming that 7 members of Eritrean national soccer team they refuse to return home, and they have fled somewhere in South Africa. What is very painful about this news story is that the Eritrean footballers proved their potential by beating a country 4-1, by qualifying for the next main qualifying group stage. They proved what they can do. They proved that they have the capability. But they defected and they sent a message to the world that they would prefer to live abroad than to be in Arabia. 7 members. So around 75% of Eritrean national team, football team, refused to return to Eritrea. And these are the first players, I think. Dozens, around 60 Eritrean players refused to return home since 2009. In the last 16 to 17 years, so many times we saw similar scenes. Who is responsible? Obviously, PFDJ responsible. Obviously, Eritrean President Isaias Afwerki responsible. A nation with potential, athletes with potential, footballers with potential, they are scared. They don't want to live in this country. They are looking for opportunity to flee the country. If they have the opportunity, they don't return. Isn't it so painful that these Eritrean youths have the potential, but due to the people in power's policies, they're helpless and they are leaving the country by hook or by crook. They want to leave their country. And what type of image now has been
As we all heard, this guy from My Views and View News is giving his point of view on what happened with the Eritrean soccer team. I honestly don't know what had happened, and but according to his report, he is saying that 7 Eritrean soccer players has not returned home or has gone missing in South Africa. I have been following this guy for quite a while, and I don't have any problem with his report or his point of view, or as he says, that his views and news. And as we all know, I don't know if how many people who is listening to me right now knows on this guy or about this guy, but to give you a short perspective or a point of view, that he has been reporting news on the east of Africa, which is Sudan, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Somalia, Djibouti, in that area. Um, I don't know how he gets his report, or I don't know what kind of sources that he has uh, about his report, but he does do a good uh, uh, report on what is going on in the east of Africa. I'm not here to criticize on his point of view, but we're just wondering how we can put this in perspective. Which how the way he's talking is that the Eritrean soccer team is to blame for the Eritrean soccer team running away or not returning home is to blame the government of Eritrea. Uh, and that itself it triggers the question within me because the Eritrean government, as I said, he has his point of view and his way of explaining this. But I just wanted to see it on my perspective, also my point of view of how he is reporting that the Eritrean government is to blame or PFDJ is to blame because um, there's a reason why they do not want to go back home or they don't want to return home. And as from my understanding, that the Eritrean government can only do what he can, which he's training and he's bringing these kids or these young soccer players to the point that where they are now, which is to become very good players and to give them a chance to go out of the country and to play with other different countries. But but he cannot control what they will do or how they do it. He can only do give them that chance to play. And these soccer players have chosen to not to go back or not to return home. So are we to blame the government or are we to blame those soccer players? Obviously, a lot of people are pointing at to the government, which uh, they think that they do not want to return home because of what is going on or how the government runs the country. But the government is giving them a chance. If the government was oppressing these people, or if the government has an assumption of that these people might not return home, he would not allow them to go to different countries to play, and they become actually uh, to become a bad example, which they are not just becoming a bad example to the government, they are also becoming a bad example to the people. I understand how people thinks and how people wanted to point fingers to the government, which the government is to blame. But from my perspective, the government is given a chance for this players to go show their skills or their talent to the world, and they have shown how good they are when they play in Africa, which they won uh 4-1 or something like that. I'm not sure exactly how they won, but they did win. And these people have become uh have become how great and how good Eritrea is when it comes to sport. Have become an example or show that how the Eritreans are good when it comes to sport, just as how the cycling has become world famous, and it became one of the top players, and a cyclist like Binyam Girmay, obviously, and showed that or show that how Eritrea can become one of the best, and if it is given a chance. But every player, every time they give him a chance, every time they get a chance, if they are running away from the country, if they are escaping the country, if they're using this sport to escape out of the country, how can we blame the government? I'm not saying whatever going on, how the ruling of the government is in within the country, and I'm not here to actually justify that the government is doing the right thing or none of that stuff. But if these people are given a chance to become in the worldwide famous, and they're using that chance, and they giving them, the government is giving them a chance to go out in the world and to show how skillful they are. But how are we to blame the government for escaping, if they are, obviously, if they had escaped or if they escaped, how are we to blame the government? I mean, it is a sad story that to see how uh, Eritreans that are given a chance to actually um, become good at what they do, they're given a chance to go out of the country and show how good or skillful they are, but at the same time, they're using that chance to escape out of the country. I mean, who are we to blame? Are we to blame the government, or are we to blame the players? It is absolutely mind boggling to think of how people can actually take a chance, or how they can, are they not representing the country, not the government? Are they not representing the country, not their own family? Are they not representing the image of the country and not their own image? I understand, and I understand that they don't give a chance to become what they want to become on their own, but they are actually representing the country. And if anything like this happen, it's not just the government to play. I mean, to blame. It's the players, even as the people, how we think. It is crazy how would people take advantage of this, on to actually say, as he said, which is shame to the government or shame to PFDJ. Don't get me wrong. There might be something that is triggering these people to actually escape out of the country, but how can we blame the government for allowing people to go out of the country and to play, but they have decided not to go back? It is crazy, and it is mind-boggling to even think about. እዚ ዝዛረብ ዘሎ ወዲ ብዛዕባ ኣብ ሃገራት ኣፍሪቃ ከይዶም ተፃወቱ ኩዕሶ ተፃወቱ ኤርትራውያን ካብ ኤርትራ ዕድል ረኪቦም ንደገ ምስ ወፁ እ፣ ነቲ ዕድል ተጠቂሞም ኣብ ደገ ከም ዝተረፉን ከም ዘይተመልሱን እዩ ዝዛረብ ዘሎ። ኣነ ብወገነይ ብዙሕ ኣፍልጦ ይብለይን ብዛዕባ እዚ ነገር እዚ፣ ግን ከምዚ ዓይነት ፕሮፓጋንዳ ይኹን ከምዚ ዓይነት ዜና ክሰምዕ ከለኹ እቶም ኩዕሶ ተፃወቲ ካብቲ ዝኸድዎ ምትራፎም ጥራሕ ዘይኮነሲ ነታ ሃገር ዝህባ ዘሎ መልክዕ ወይ ድማኒ እቲ ዝንፋሕ ዘሎ ፕሮፓጋንዳ ስጋብ ክንደይ ሓደገኛ ምዃኑ ንምርዳእ ኢለ ማለት እዩ ዝዛረብ ዘለኹ ርዳእኒ ዝተፈላለዩ መገዲ ክህሉ ክእል እዩ ኣብቲ ሃገር እውን ፀገማት ክህሉ ክእል እዩ ሽግራት ክህሉ ክእል እዩ ግን መብዛሕትኡ ግዜ ንሪኦ ዘለና እንታይ እዩ ኩሉ ግዜ ዕድል ዝረኸበ በታ ዕድል ዝረኸባ ብኣጊሩ እዩ ዝተርፍ ወይ ከዓ ነዚ ዝጠፍእ ዘሎ እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ እዚ ከዓኒ ነቲ መንግስቲ ጉድለታት ናይቲ መንግስትን ወይ ከዓ እቲ መንግስቲ ሸም ቱ ገቨርንመንት እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ ሕጂ ብናተይ ንዓይ ዘይርዳእኒ ዘሎ ግን እንታይ እዩ እዚኦም ከምዚ ዓይነት ተግባራት ዝገብሩ ሰባት ርዳእኒ እዩ ናይ ገዛእ ርእሶም ሂወቶም ኣለዎም ናይ ገዛእ ርእሶም ናብራ ኣለዎም ገዛእ ርእሶም ዝደልይዎ ነገራት ናይ ገዛእ ርእሶም ድሌት ኣለዎም ግን ከምዚ ክገብሩ ከለዉ ነቲ ሃገር ድዮም ሕማቅ ገፅ ዝህብዋ ዘለውስ ወላ ነቲ መንግስቲ እዮም ሕማቅ ገፅ ዝህብዎ ዘለዉ እቲ መንግስቲ ድዩ ኣብ ከምዚ ዓይነት ነገር ሓላፍነት ክስከም ዘለዎን ንዕኡ ዲና ሸም ኦን እዩ ክንብሎ ዘለናስ ዋላሲ ነቲ ዕድል ረኪቡ መህደሚ ዝጥቀመሉ ዘሎ ነቲ ዕድል እዩ ኢና ሸም ክንብሎ ዘለና ማለት እዩ ኣብዚ ሕጂ ክርዳእኒ ይክእልኒ እዩ ነብሲ ወከፍ ኤርትራዊ ይፈልጥ እዩ ኣብ ኤርትራ ፅቡቅ ነገር ኣሎ ኩሉ ነገር ናይሰን ዳንዲ ይበልናኒ ኩሉ ነገር ፅቡቅ እዩ ኩሉ ነገር ሰናይ እዩ ኩሉ ነገር ቤርላዩ ይበልና ወይ ከዓ ኩሉ ነገር ፅቡቅ ኣሎ ይበልናኒ ኣብቲ ሃገር ፀገም ከም ዘሎ ሽግራት ከም ዘሎ ነብሲ ወከፍ ኤርትራዊ ይርድኦ ንፈልጦን እዩ ግን ዝኾነ ዓይነት ኤርትራዊ ብፍላይ ድማ ብሃገር ደረጃ ሃገር ወኪሉ ክወፅእ ከሎ ሕጂ ነቲ ሃገር ነቲ ንሃገር ዝውክሎ ዘሎ ሲ መህደሚ ድዩ ዝጥቀመሉ ዘሎ ማለት እዩ ኣነ እዞም ሰባት እዚኣቶም ሃዲሞም ድዮመ ሃደሞም ድዮመ ተሪፎም ደም ይገሮም ኣይተረፉን ኣይፈልጥን እየ ግን ካብዛ ናይ ዝወዲ ዝዘረባ ካብዚ ዝዛረቦ ዘሎ ተበጊሰ ኣነ ነዚ ሓሳብ እዚ ንእሽቶ ርእተይ ክህብደል እየ ማለት እዩ እዚ ሰብ እዚ ክዛረብ ከሎ ኤርትራውያን ንዓዶም ክምለሱ ኣይደልዩን እዮም ምክንያቱ እቲ መንግስቲ ኣብ ልዕሊኦም ፀቕጢ ስለ ዝገብር ዘሎ እቲ መንግስቲ ኣብ ልዕሊኦም ፀቕጢ ክገብር እንተደሊ ደኣመኒ ኣብ ልዕሊኦም ፀቕጢ ገይሩ እኮ እኸፍ ክብሎም ምኽኣለ እዚ መንግስቲ ግን ንሃገር ወኪሎም ንሃገር ናይ ሃገራዊ ሃገራዊ ሓላፍነት ተሰኪሞም ንደገ ክወፁ ኣፍቂድሎም ሲ ነቲ ደገ ምውፃእ ግን ነቲ መንግስቲ ዝሃቦም ሓላፍነት ገዲፎም ናይ ገዛ ርእሶም ጥቕሞም ድሕሪ ገይሮም ሲ ነቲ መንግስቲ ዲኻ ክትማርር ዘለካስ ዋላስ ነቲ ዝሃድም ዘሎ ኢኻ ተማርር ሕጂ ብዙሕ ሰብ ኣብዚ ነናቱ ርእቱ ክህብ እኽእል እዩ ነናቱ ሓሳብ ክህበሉ ክእል እዩ ብጣዕሚ ዘገርም ነገር ግን እዚኦም ከምዚኦም ዝኣመሰሉ ብዛዕባ እቲ ኣብ ኤርትራ ዘሎ ነገር ዝፈልጦን ዘይፈልጦን ድላዮም ዝዛረቡ ከም ድላዮም ከዓ ነቲ ሃገር ድላዮም መልክዕ ዝህብዋ መኻኒ ብካልእ ቋንቋ ብእንግሊሽ እንዳተዛረቡ ብዓለም ደረጃ ከምፅኦ ዝኽእል ፅልዋ ስለተረዳእኒ ኣነ ሕጂ ነዚ ነገር እዚ ክዛረብ ዘልየ እምበር ኣብ ኤርትራ ፀገማት የለን ሽግራት የለን ማለት ኣይኮነን እዚ ዝበሃል ዘሎ እውን ሓቂ ዲ ሓሶት እውን ኣይፈልጥን እየ ግን ሓቂ እንድሕር ኮይኑ እውን ነቲ መንግስቲ ዲኻ ክትማርሲ ዋላስ ነቶም ዝሃድሙ ዘለዉ ወይ ከዓ ነቶም ኣብኡ ዝተርፉ ዘለዉ እዞም ኣብኡ ተርፉ ዘለውስ ነቲ መንግስቲ ጥራሕ ድዮም ሕማቅ መልክዕ ዝህብዎ ሕማቅ ትርኢት ዝህብዎስ ዋላ ንዓና ንነብሲ ወከፍ ኤርትራውያን እውን ሕማቅ ትርኢት እዮም ዝህቡና እዚ ክርዳእኒ ስለ ዘይከኣለ ብጣዕሚ ዘገርመን ነገር ከዓኒ ብዙሕ ከምዚ ዓይነት ነገራት የጋጥም እዩ ግን ሰብ በብመገዱ በብናቱ መገዲ ካብቲ ሃገር ወፂኡ ወይ ድማኒ ሂወቱ ንከመዓራሪ ናብርኡ ንከመሓይሽ ምሻሎ ካብቲ ሃገር ክወፅእ ክእል እዩ በቢደረጅኡ ክወፅእ ክእል እዩ ንሃገር ወኪሉ ንህዝቢ ወኪሉ ንድሕር ወፅእ ኣሎ ኮይኑ ግን እቲ ሓላፍነት ናይቲ ህዝብን ዳኣ እምበር እቲ ኣብቲ መንግስቲ ኣብ ልዕሊኦም ዝገብሮ ዘሎ ፀቕጢ ኣይኮነን ክቅድም ነይርዎ ዝብል ኣተሓሳስባ እዩ ዘለኒ ምክንያቱ እቲ ሃገር ንዕኦም ሰዶም ዘላ እምበር እቲ መንግስቲ ይኮነ ንዕኦም ሰዶም ዘሎ ስለዚ ነቲ ሃገር ወኪሎም ስጋዕ ዝኸዱ በታ ሃገር ዝወከለቶም መሰረት ነቲ ክግበር ዝግብኦ ተግባር ፈፂሞም ዓዶም ተመሊሶም ሽዑ ካብኡ ብድላዮም መገዲ ክወፁ እንተፈተኑ ምናልባት የመልክዕ እዩ ክብል ምክኣልኩ ማለት እዩ ንሃገር ወኪልካ ናይ ሃገር ገንዘብ ብናይ ሃገር ገንዘብ ብናይ ሃገር ንብረት ወፂኻ ግን ብኡ ጌርካ ብደገ ክተርፍ ብዙሕ ሰብ ሕጂ ነዚ ከም ምክንያት ፅቡቅ ምክንያት ተጠቂሙሉ ወይ ድማ ፅቡቅ ገብሩ ክብል ይኽእል እዩ ብናተይ ይረኣየና ኣጠማምታን ግን ሃገር ወኪልካ ስለዝወፃኻ ንነብሲ ወከፍና ኤርትራዊ ስለትወክል ዘለካ ብኡ ጌርካ ምትራፍ ማለት ብወገነይ ሕጂ ኣነ ቅቡል ጌራ ይስምዖኒ ግን ናይ መወዳእታ ሕቶይ ግን መንግስቲ ዲኻ ናይ መንግስቲ ድዩቲ ሽግር ዋላስ ናይ ውልቀ ሰባት እዩ ኣብዚ በደልናት ይሓስብ ማለት እዩ ብዝኾነ ግን በቢ ዘለናዮ ሰላም ነዚ ቻነል ሰብስክራይብ ግበርዎ ሸር ግበሩ የቀኒየለይ ኣይ ታንክ ዩ ሶ ማች